Well, no, I just feel bad for the Buccaneers.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
they're the opposite of the Chiefs, where everything that can go wrong in the key moment of the game does.
Yeah.
Coin flips twice in overtime.
Right.
Just weird stuff, and they can't close out these victories. And at some point, it is about them, but boy, they badly need the reset they're going to have that comes from the bye week. Get Mike Evans back, hopefully, on the other end.
That's the big thing.
Try to turn this thing around while they can.
Right.
Get into the wild card round. They're good enough to play with anyone, but we saw the 49ers go to Tampa yesterday. It wasn't pretty for either team, but it was methodical, and Christian McCaffrey was back. He had over 100 yards from scrimmage. Brock Purdy was kind of secretly awesome yesterday with 353 passing yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
And the 49ers offense worked. There were still issues, especially special teams with 3 missed field goals and some weirdness that happened. We'll get to that in a second. But Purdy was looking pretty good. That's the thing. Purdy's almost like a long snapper or an offensive lineman. When he plays well, you don't notice. You only notice him when he doesn't.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, no, it is a little bit because it's not sexy. You don't always go just wow. But I think when you dive into it and look at it and like plays like that, you go wow. And there was a number of that, type of plays yesterday. And as you've heard me say a few times throughout the year, Brock Purdy to me this year is playing better football than he did last year. I don't care what the stats say. He's made more plays outside the realm of Shanahan gifts and stuff like that than ever before. Now, he's had mistakes, and I understand that too, but there's been more high-level plays that have opened my eyes this year. And now with the whole crew back together and McCaffrey there and all that, they're going to be dangerous. They are. I mean, Shanahan's a different guy. They're a different offense when they have Christian McCaffrey. He really can do everything, and they put you in a bind because, they could have McCaffrey and Juszczyk in the backfield and George Kittle at tight end and Deebo and Juwan Jennings a wide receiver, and you go, wow, well, they're going to run the ball down our throat. We better watch out. And then the very next play, they line up an empty, and you go, wow, we have big people to stop the run, and now all these guys can run routes, and we're in trouble in the pass game. So he can put you in a bind that way. San Francisco was clearly the better football team in this game. They moved the ball up and down the field on Tampa Bay. And then to your point with Tampa Bay, the defense in the bye week has got to get fixed. I mean, it's big plays down the middle of the field all game long. And then, they need Mike Evans back, definitely. But San Francisco, 413 yards of total offense. They almost doubled Tampa Bay yesterday. But you said it, the fact they moved the ball so many times, and Jake Moody right now is going through a little bit of a psychological issue.
First game back in more than a month after he had the ankle injury.
Right.
And they had a couple of other kickers, and Moody comes back. They used a fairly high draft pick on him, missed 3 field goals. And this is a rarity to see any player go after both the snapper and the kicker. But Deebo Samuel, and you'll see the video here in a second, but Moody missed 3.
Third missed field goal of the day.
He ultimately got the game winner.
Yep.
He ultimately got the game winner, which helped me. Tyler Bass, you're only as good as your next kick. He made that one, but the Deebo Samuel thing, there he is, going after the snapper. The follow-through on Moody, I don't think he meant to hit Moody. It was just the follow-through on the snapper, but that's just not – you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that.
No, the 49ers have some intense personalities.
I give the long snapper credit for going after Deebo Samuel. I wouldn't mess with Deebo Samuel.
No, I wouldn't either. And that might have been one where it's like, he's stepping up and he's like, hey, I want to mess with you, but somebody hold him back.
Hold me back. Somebody grab my arm.
Hold him back. Hold him
grab my arm
like
Nick Bosa grabbing Baker Mayfield's arm. What a play that was, too.
Oh, my gosh, it was. I mean, I never thought I'd say Nick Bosa get in the weight room. That was actually fun.
Well, it's like he had his arm. It's like, and it wasn't one of those situations where he's pulling up and holding back because of the rules. He just couldn't. Mayfield was running away from him, and he's got his arm, but he couldn't do anything with it.
No, and Baker's stronger and thicker individual than I think people realize when you see him in person. He does have some power in his body for sure. That was amazing. But with back to your 49ers thing, the 49ers have some high-strung personalities. That's what we talked about. They're crazy in a good way. Coach says run through the wall. They go run through the wall. They were pissed off. That was a big game yesterday. And I know Deebo Samuel's sitting there going, damn, we're going up and down the field here, and we're going to chance to lose the football game to the Buccaneers. I think he was shocked by that. I don't ever condone what he did there. But having known Deebo and knowing enough about him, I guarantee at some point after the game he went up to them and made good and spoke a little sense into the whole situation. But yeah, they were scared. I mean, control of the game, and all of a sudden we're sitting there going, oh no, they're going to get upset, and Tampa Bay's going to run away with this thing. But either way, Jake Moody got clutch when he needed to, and that's all that counted.
The incident was attributed by Deebo Samuel to frustration.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't even get like that, but it was just frustrated in the heat of battle. Really close game. I kind of got out of character a little bit. I'll talk to Moody, and we'll get past it. And apparently, it was Deebo telling Moody to lock in, and I guess that's when the long snapper,
Probably
Taylor
said,
Pepper.
worry about your own job
Tabor
or
Pepper.
whatever. Right.
Tabor Pepper.
Right. He got involved, said some things, whatever. Yeah, again, those things are going to happen on the sideline. The 49ers, right, there's some things I think that we got to look at. Hopefully the field goal kicking's not an issue, but special teams have been an issue all year, and they were kind of an issue last year too. But this is probably the third or fourth game where we've seen special teams be an issue for the San Francisco 49ers somehow, some way, and cost them the chance to win a football game. Luckily, they got it done here in this one. The other thing, too, and we saw this, when the game, especially third and fourth quarter, the Buccaneers started to gash them in the run game. The 49ers are different this year in the fact that, thank God Christian McCaffrey's back, because I think they're going to have to outscore the good teams in football. They're not going to be able to go, hey, we can win it 20-14 or 24-17 that way against the top tier teams in football. I think they're going to have to rely a little bit more on shootouts and the explosive offense they have. It just seems that way this year with the defense injuries and not quite being on their A game.
But the good news was they did, as you mentioned earlier, almost double the yardage for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
Only 215 yards. Now the Buccaneers have been hamstrung without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They held Baker Mayfield to 116 passing yards, a little over 100 rushing yards for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that's a game, when you look at those numbers, we had a couple of games like that yesterday.
Right.
When you look at the basic numbers, it's like, how was this close?
Yeah, well, it was the short field, right, in the third quarter that led to an easy touchdown for the Buccaneers. And then a few other drives that were a lot of work, like 13 plays, 58 yards, and a field goal. 11 plays, 58 yards, and a field goal. Right? There was only really one smooth, functioning, full-field drive for a touchdown the whole game, and that was early in the fourth quarter when they went on a 10-play, 70-yard drive. So, yeah, there's some issues there. They need to get healthy, and they need that receiver back, and got to go back to the lab on the defense a little bit.
Yeah, Bucs are 4-6, and they've just had some ugly losses. They look like they were going to be a really, really good team this year, but I think they can play with anyone. They went to Detroit week 2 and won. The only team that beat the Lions at all this year. I think that's something they can really kind of reflect on as they enter this bye week and try to pick up the pieces and turn things
We talked
around.
about the 49ers muffed a punt. That's where I think I kept meant to get to that. That led to that short field touchdown. So that was part of their special teams issues. Either way, they get the win.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.